I had an update too. All right. Good morning, old school Texas Tech. I'll probably post this in the evening, but we're recording it in the morning. Um, how are you doing, Jordan?
All good here in Texas, my man. How are you? How's Ecuador?
It's going good.
Good.
Got a little rain yesterday, which we actually needed. They were going to start some water restrictions because we had an unusually dry weather for like a month. So despite our opponent this week, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Nice. Water
Our
restrictions.
Kansas State. I'm not in Kansas State anymore, right?
Right. But was it
Uh,
the little apple they call it?
Little Apple, Manhattan. I remember we had a former coworker who was from Manhattan but went to Lawrence. I don't know if you remember, but I'll remind you at another date.
I've got a current
Um,
got a current one that went to Kansas State. I have to razz him this week, which I will be doing.
Right, right. Well, we don't have a lot of right to do a lot of razzing considered the record over the last 20 years. Although I am old enough, and so are you, to remember a day when on the mid to late Leach years, even I remember even one in the early Leach years where we used to actually beat Kansas State on a fairly regular basis with him. Once he left, forget about it. I think it's only been one win since he left, and that was the one with Mahomes and Kingsbury when we played LSU in the bowl game.
Yep.
We ended up going to Austin and winning the next week, but everybody thought we had to win that game to make a bowl, and we ended up getting seven. But I remember that was I think that was 2015. I'm pretty sure.
Didn't realize that we'd only beaten them one time. It felt like we hadn't beaten them in a while, but it
I think that's right. We
was
we we blew one over a field goal with Cliff too. He
yeah.
actually had to beat twice, and then the of course the final straw for Matt Wells was a game he should have won. I think he lost by 1 point to K State, and I think this game is very personal to Kirby because he played there. Also, I think in general we always lose because we're out coached. They're more of a developmental program than we are. A lot of times a lot of times we have more talent than they do. We're just purely out coached. But we'll get more to that. Let's get to our traditional prediction, and then I got a follow up question after that. So, what do you think is the worst case scenario on Saturday night? In Lubbock, it's going to be a blackout. Going to be a really, really big game.
Worst case, I mean, we're in Lubbock, so that automatically it makes me feel pretty good about our chances. But if we're going worst case early, I mean, I could see them blowing the doors off because let's look at it this way. They just came off of a bad loss to Oklahoma State. So they're going to be in a bad mood. So I don't see them coming in and playing like that again with all the turnovers. So I would say an off night for all sides would be kind of in that 35-21 type range with Kansas State beating us. And we probably tack on a late one to make it look a little bit closer than that. Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. Actually, worst case scenario, I was actually seriously going to predict a win. I
Really?
know everyone's laughing at that. I'm very bullish on this game Saturday night. Yes, they're in a bad mood, but we should be in a very bad mood also. We have a lot of older players who have never beaten Kansas State. The we have a horrible record against Kansas State. It caused a coaching change. It was the final straw. It didn't cause the coaching stage to change, but it was the final straw for a coaching change. So we're going to be a bad mood too. I agree with Joey McGuire. It's going to come down to the big guys on both sides of the ball. I think that we've got a very good defensive front. And I think that our offensive line is run blocking particularly well. If they take that away, we have a young gunslinger at quarterback, And if we have to use them and we have to kind of deviate from the plan, we can. But my worst case scenario is a loss, but just a very narrow one, 28-24, K-State. That's my worst case
Okay.
scenario.
Yep.
Um, all right. Do you have any opinion on that or anything?
No, I think again, worst case scenario is a loss. And I think, and I just looked it up. We have lost 7 in a row to them.
Yeah, it was 2015. It was the last time. I remember I was going to a wedding, watched most of the game. I listened to the very end. It came down to the end, I think, and listened to the end in the radio, on the radio. And so, actually, I think you were at that same wedding. But anyway, yeah, I think the worst case scenario is a narrow loss. I think the only way that something like what you're predicting is going to happen is if they create a bunch of turnovers at the beginning, which they have not been as good at this year. They usually are. They've actually turned the ball over more than usual, and they usually create a lot more turnovers, and they haven't. So anyway, that's my opinion on worst case scenario. What let's go not to what we really think is going to happen, but best case scenario.
Best case scenario is well, number one, I'm going to say they missed Deuce Vaughn, but let's but to me, best case would be we beat them like we did Baylor last week, and I would say we hang 41 on them, and they score 17. We're on a hot streak. Things are clicking on all cylinders, and we run them into the dirt. So I would say 41-17, best case scenario for us.
All right, I'm actually pretty close, and we didn't talk about it. I have best case scenario 42-24.
Okay?
And actually, the last 2 weeks, I think my best case scenario has been fairly close. The reason why I think it's possible is they are still the same K-State. They're well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They've got a really good offensive line, but we've also got a really good defensive coordinator, and we've also got a really good defensive line. Our linebackers are playing well. Rabbits playing well. I think we have an average secondary, but they show flashes at times. So I think we could create some turnovers. Also, they don't really have a huge home run hitter that can get behind our defense. I think they have like one guy. I actually, to be completely transparent, I over slept this morning. I heard his name yesterday, but I forgot it. They've got one kind of home run hitter, but I don't think one home run hitter with this defense is like a wide receiver that's gonna get behind our defense. I don't think that's going to happen. So, best case scenario, we create some turnovers. We don't turn the ball over. Maybe they try to stack like 8 in the box, and we finally are able to open up our passing game. Still use Tosh plenty. Still don't abandon the running game. Make them keep 8 people in the box, but well, we've got great tight end play. We should still be able to sling it a little bit. It's going to be a crazy home atmosphere. It's sold out. I was looking just for fun at tickets. Obviously, I'm not going to the game. I'm in South America, but I think that the best case scenario is possible. I think we could really put it on them, and it would be a huge statement game for sure.
Good stuff, man.
Uh,
I'm disappointed, man. You need to fly from South America. You need to go to this game. You need to show your support.
I know, man. Okay, so what do you think is going to actually happen?
Texas Tech wins 31-21. That's my final prediction. It'll be close the entire way. No, neither one of the teams is going to completely get any kind of. In fact, I think we're going to lead basically the entire. They may jump up 3-0 on a field goal, but it's going to be pretty close all the way till the end. But I'm taking Tech by 10, and I didn't look at the spread. I don't know what it is. It
It's
might
it's
be
about
Tech
it.
by
It's about a point and a half. But I actually,
toss.
except for our worst case scenario, we're actually pretty close on best case and what we actually think is going to happen. I have Tech 35-28.
Okay.
And I even think with that, that could be like a junk touchdown at the end with a minute and 15 seconds left or something like that. And then they try an onside kick or something. I mean, I think Tech's going to win this game. I think we're due. I think that they're going to try to make us one dimensional, and I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. I think we'll create enough turn. I think we'll win. I think maybe you know you got to remember Baron Morton's still a sophomore, so maybe I doubt Taj fumbles again. Maybe Cameron Valdez fumbles or one of the receivers. Maybe Baron Morton throws one pick, but I think maybe we get a couple turnovers off of him. I think that quarterback's thrown 7 interceptions this season. So I think we could get a pick. I think Rabbit could come up huge again. Steve Linton, if he has another game where he even gets some pressure, put some pressure on the quarterback, we can keep him in his lanes. I think we have a very good chance to win this game on Saturday night.
Agreed, man. I like our chances of being 4-3, my friend. I really do.
Yeah, that would be huge. All right, so my follow-up question, what do you think? We have 6 games left. There's been a lot. We've talked about the most difficult road games. But what do you think out of the next 6 games, which one do you think is the most important?
Wow, that's a good question. Honestly, man, I I'm almost gonna say the because I think we're playing at BYU. I think going to BYU and winning that one is going to give us some serious momentum. Because I think when do we play that one? Is that one in 2 weeks?
It's
I need to
next
go.
week. It's
It's
next
next.
week. Yeah.
The difference between here, I'm going to just go out and say it. We're going to be 4-3 on Saturday night when we beat K State, with a chance to go 5-3 is going to be huge versus potentially 4-4.
Right. I actually it's not just because it's the game Saturday night. I actually think the most important game is this one, because the easiest path to us becoming bowl eligible is just to win out the rest of our home games. I think this is the toughest home game we have left. TCU will be good. I do think we will beat Central Florida. I'll go ahead and reveal that just because it's at home. I think TCU will be tough, but that's going to be a wild one. It's going to be a wild atmosphere. It's going to be a Thursday night game. Um, some people don't like that. I think it's actually going to be in our. I think it's going to be in our favor. I think Tech fans are going to be hyped up for that one. They're going to be hyped up Saturday night. It's our toughest road game. If we can get this one, I think it's a good omen that we're going to get the next 2 home games also. That gets us to at least to 6. I do think actually after last week, even though I think Austin's a long shot. I do think all of our remaining games are at least a little bit winnable to varying degrees. I think that UCF at home is the easiest, but K State I think is our hardest remaining home game. So if we get that one, we're going to be. I think we're going to be in good shape.
Agreed. I think really the only tough game. I know not the only tough, but I think every game is winnable on the schedule except Texas. And that's barring any if they have any major injuries, they may be down some players, then we have a shot. But other than that, we should I have a feeling we're gonna see what we did last year, which was a strong finish to the season. I feel like that's gonna be Joey McGuire's MO, dude. I really believe that.
Well, that I think of that motivational video by Les Brown, and he says it's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, talking about his life and how he came from poverty to success. So that's how I view about Austin. I think we have enough juice. We have a different kind of team this year, so I think we have enough juice where we could pull like a shocking upset down there, but it would be a shocking upset. But yeah, I respect you saying that we don't have a chance. That's honest. It's really hard to win down there, and they're going to be up. Their players remember last year in Lubbock. too. But if our offense gets better, this is an opportunity this week because K State's going to try to shut down our running game. This is an opportunity this week to use the strength of our running game to open up the pass. And I think I listened to some of the press conferences. I think that's kind of in the cards. Now they're very well coached, so they're probably going to give us a lot of different looks that we've never even seen. We've never seen before. So it'll be a fun one. But I like our chances Saturday night.
I like it, man. I like it. Go Tech.
All right, and please subscribe and like. We're getting a little bit more momentum, just a little by little. We want to do a lot of different things with the group and with the channel, but we need some momentum with our YouTube channel first and foremost. Anyway, everybody have a good one. I'll probably post this tonight, but have a nice. It's recorded in the morning, but have a nice evening, and I look forward to Saturday. And good to see you, my friend.
You too, buddy. Thanks, Taylor, and thanks everybody.